Okay, we're going to talk about gear ratios and gear inches, those are all about the ratio of how big the front chainring is relative to what cog we're in the rear cassette. This whole thing is the cassette. The size of the gears is based upon the number of teeth on the gear. So there is 53 teeth around here. And the size is based upon the number of teeth because the chain has to fit nicely into the gear. And so the teeth always need to be evenly spaced, even on the rear gear. And so the number of teeth here determines, or is the way that we talk about the size of this gear. This is a 28 tooth gear. That's a bigger gear than the one that the chain's in right now, which is 11 tooth gear. And all we do is we just count the teeth, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Now, fortunately, a lot of the gears are stamped with the number of teeth, so we can be lazy and we don't have to count. All right, in another video, we'll go through the math behind why we would want to be in this gear versus any other combination. And it has to do with gear ratios and ultimately gear inches. Gear ratio is the ratio of the size of this gear versus this gear. Gear inches is how far we travel, how far we go around for each revolution of a pedal. So what I'm going to do is this is not actually how we do it. I'll show you how we do it, but I just don't have space. I'm going to put a piece of tape right here. And I'm going to put that at 12 o'clock. I'm going to put it down here so we can see the pedal on this at the same time. Down here at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to take my pedal, I'm going to put that at 3 o'clock as well. And I'm going to just start rotating the pedal around once. And then I'm going to count how many times the wheel goes around. Okay? Let's see if we can do this with one hand. All right, so here we got the pedal at 3 o'clock, and we're going to go around to 3 o'clock again, and I'm going to count how many times. I see a black tape. Let me put it so we can see it on the white. There we go. Okay, so we're going to count how many times that piece of black tape comes by. All right, so here we go. I'm moving the crank. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that black tape came back around 5 times. So this wheel went around 5 times for every pedal revolution. So every time I go around once on the crank, that rear wheel goes around 5 times. Okay, that's one of the advantages to being in this gear, and this gear, is that for every revolution here, I get lots of revolutions back here. Now, if I switch gears to this big one in the back and the small one in the front, let's do that again. Let me do that. Change gears. Okay, so now I'm in the small gear in the front, the small front chain ring, and I'm in the big gear in the back. Let's find my tape. Here it is right here. I'm gonna put that at 3 o'clock, and come down here, put the pedal at 3 o'clock. And now I'm gonna count how many times I go around for a pedal revolution here. Now remember, for the first gear ratio, we went around 5 times. All right, let's do it again. Going around pedal, and here comes the tape once, and right there. The tape's all the way over there. So for one pedal revolution, the wheel only went around 1.5 times. So I have to spin my pedals a lot more for that wheel to spin 5 times. Just like instead of being in this gear, in the small gear in the back, which would go around 5 times, I'm only getting 1.5 revolutions for this gear ratio. And obviously, if the front gear were the same size as the rear gear, every pedal revolution in front would equal one wheel revolution in the back. Now, like I said, that's not really how we measure gear ratios or gear inches. What I would do is I would actually set it up this way. Where I take the bike and I mark on the ground where I start, and then I start rolling the wheel backwards, and you see the pedal moving. I would go around one revolution, and then I would measure the distance that I started to where I end up in one pedal revolution. And that distance will be gear inches. Now, I can also do the math, and I can take the number of revolutions that I counted, 5, and multiply it by the circumference of the wheel, and that will also tell me how far I've traveled. So there's an easy math relationship there. And that would be gear inches, the distance traveled for one revolution of the pedals. And I have a bigger gear inch when I'm in the big chain ring in front and a small gear in the back. I have a smaller gear inch when I'm in a small chain ring in the front, big gear in the back. And we'll talk about the math behind that and why that is in a separate video. Okay, thanks.